All right, so
Does that light look better now?
a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. Tom Nutty is here with me tonight. Of course, Socrates was with me last night. Matt, his kids are having a bunch of birthday parties and stuff like that, so he won't be able to, be here tonight. But of course, like normally we don't do this on our program, but I'm gonna start off. Some days are better than others. Of course, we all woke up with the news that someone that really, myself and Tom most likely too grew up with, passed away today. That being Jason David Frank from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And if anybody knows Power Rangers from any generation, you can't sit there and not know who Tommy from Power Rangers is. He was the franchise. So unfortunately, he has passed. This morning heard via suicide. So if anybody out there is struggling, I myself, I tend to have issues with depression myself. If anybody's struggling, make sure you reach out to the National Suicide Hotline and, find yourself some help, because that's a terrible, terrible, awful loss for our generation, growing up with somebody like that.
Yeah. There's no shame in that shit. Go talk to somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And of course, we got a lot going on, tonight. And it's crazy. I'm going to get right into something. It was actually funny that we had a news article and I saw something I saw recently online that Frontier Airlines is offering a deal. And I think they were talking about this on the morning show too, that Frontier Airlines is offering a deal for $599 unlimited for, I think, like a whole year or some shit like that, like some sort of weird $599 unlimited flight deal. I'm not sure if it's for a month, whatever it is. And I'm like, that's a little weird. And it made me think of this news article that we're going to hop right into. That being Frontier Airlines passenger prompted a Frontier Airlines flight to make an emergency landing in Atlanta, Airline says. A Frontier Airlines passenger necessitated an emergency landing and was later taken into custody Friday night after he was found with a box cutter. We have been down this road before.
Yeah, I know how this story ends.
Yeah, and it said a second box cutter was later found in the passenger's carry-on luggage. The Transportation Administration told CNN on Saturday afternoon. Frontier Airlines Flight 1761 from Cincinnati to Tampa was diverted to Atlanta after the passenger was seen with the box cutter. So, so he was seen with the box cutter. So I guess they offer him a complimentary thing of peanuts, and the dude just pulls it out of his pocket and he's like, thanks, and just slices the top open. I don't that doesn't give us any kind of valuable information. It said the aircraft landed safely in Atlanta and the passenger in question was taken into custody by Atlanta law enforcement, De La Cruz said. There were no injuries to passengers or crew members, according to the airlines. All passengers left the plane and were provided an overnight hotel accommodations in Atlanta. A new flight was scheduled for Saturday morning to take them to Tampa. Now, I don't know if you've ever had this happen before, and I know a few people who, for example, my wife, her brother, he worked for Walgreens for the longest time. And he would meet me right after he would get off work, and we would go to an Orioles game or something like that. And he would forget that he had his box cutter in his pocket. And I don't know how many times I seen him throw a box cutter away in a trash can outside of Camden Yards. And I'm like, some homeless junkie is going to find this.
Yep.
And slice another homeless junkie with this box cutter.
Somehow, throwing a box cutter away in the city is more suspicious than trying to fly with one.
Oh, yeah.
It would raise way more flags to me if I just saw them throwing one away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like that the passenger wasn't violent at all. I think it might have been just one of those things he had. He's probably a carpenter or some shit. Probably just didn't know, right. Had the shit there. And, but I look at it, I'm like, all right, well, that $599 unlimited flight deal, hey, may have man with box cutter on the flight, $599 unlimited, whatever.
When you started reading that story, I Googled the unlimited thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unlimited, right?
Okay. See, I knew it was kind of unlimited. There has to be some sort of
there's certain windows that you can not fly in, which basically is the times a year everyone would want to fly. Okay. You know what I mean? So holidays, all that bullshit's all blacked out.
If it's busy, you're fucked.
Right. But other than that, it's just yeah, it seems like it is pretty much unlimited, except you know, for 30% of the year you can't fly. But
it's like this window you're good. But I mean that's good. I guess, you know, people who just up and travel a lot, like that would be good for them. And I mean, I've flown Frontier Airlines before. They're not the greatest airline. They're not as bad as Spirit Airline. I don't feel like I'm going to become a Spirit if I fly that airline. But the first time we went to Mexico, we flew Frontier. And I think Frontier actually, they had like those little like screens in the back of the seats where you could like watch TV and shit. And I was so excited about it. And then I think it was like $1 per like hour or some shit like that, or something ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'll just sit here in silence. Like, yeah, I don't need this.
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather just strike up a conversation with this guy cutting open his peanuts with this box cutter over here.
Right. I want to know what he's doing.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on here.
Right.
And now I don't know, like Tom, have you ever had any like bad flying experiences?
No, I've only actually flown twice. Well, one trip actually, to and from Denver. It's the only time I've ever flown, and it was about as seamless as a journey as you could get. I mean, other than getting lost in Denver's airport for like 2 hours, which we talked about, but the actual flight itself, and we flew United. The actual flight itself was great.
Nice. Like I the only time I've ever flown was to Mexico 4 times and back, and then also to Vegas and back. And the last time we went to Mexico, it was one of those things. We went to Fort Lauderdale. We had a connecting flight in Fort Lauderdale, and they apparently like something happened where a bunch of flights were missed the night before. So Spirit was doing some underhand shit where they were booking flights for the same day as us, but they didn't give us a big enough window. They gave us like 35 minutes to get from point A to point B to hit the connecting flight. And what it had to be is in Fort Lauderdale, you just put your passport or, you know, all your stuff under a scan thing. Unbeknownst to us, my ticket didn't say Raymond Chase Jr. on it. It said Raymond Chase. So what did that do? It flagged us. So if there was a human like at BWI, they would have just looked at, okay, this is this person, blah, blah, blah. They just missed Junior, whatever. Here you go. See ya. So it flagged us. And apparently we found out about all that bullshit. Like people were like, yeah, you know, apparently they're abruptly canceling flights or whatever and all that. We had to pay out of our own money to stay in Fort Lauderdale. And I lost my shit in the airport. Like I'm talking about like throwing my bag, whatever, all that. I'm like, you know, good, dirty motherfuckers, blah, 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 this, that, and another. And like my wife thought we were going to be locked up. And like even one of the TSA guys was like, is there an issue? I'm like, yeah, this fucking airline fucking sucks. And that was the last time we flew them. And I told her, if we ever go anywhere, I'd rather book through Southwest or book through like an airline that also has the vacation rolled in with it, or do our separate flights. Cause I never, like every time we flew Spirit, it was just an issue. And Spirit, like, yeah, they're cheaper, but where they get you are your bag costs. Yep. Like their bag costs, like for example, like you'll pay like really cheap for that, but then yet it's like $80 a bag or some shit like that, and there's no free carry-ons, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of like ripping off type bullshit is this? Like,
yeah, I can say I don't think I've ever heard anything good about Spirit at all.
Yeah, so
not even once.
And of course, shout out to Jerry from Sheriff Pipe Podcast. He's in the live chat. He said, shout out to Ray and the Happy Hour Podcast crew, as well as Tom Nutty, who eliminated me during last year's Happy Hour Pod Rumble, which actually is currently being broken down on our social media sites. Make sure, you know, you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we're also getting a little bit better with TikTok. So I'm going to try to start splitting up stuff there, but it takes a lot of time. So bear with us. And, you know, while we're on the airplane thing, my coworker was telling me that his wife knows somebody who's a student, and that student identifies as an airplane. And,
hell yeah.
And like, no bullshit, like every so often in school, they have to let him get up and like put his arms out and go like this, like run across like the room, because he identifies as an airplane. And I told my
does he get September 11th off?
I don't know. Yeah, is that a holiday to him? But here's the thing. Like I told my wife this. She's like, he's fucking with you. I'm like, no, he was dead serious. So like how far can you go with identify? Like if that's the thing, like I want to identify as like a Christmas tree, and I want to walk into people's houses covered in ornaments and stand there, and they plug me in, and I get to be a Christmas tree. Like, is this like? And I don't give a shit. But just like teachers, I feel so bad for teachers because the inmates are truly running the asylum. Yep. Like, teachers can't do anything. Like, if they sit there and tell this kid, hey, Johnny, sit the fuck down. You're not a fucking airplane. Johnny's going to go to the goddamn principal and go, oh, teacher such and such touched my pee-pee, right. And that's the way it's going to work. And it's like, well, he didn't touch your pee-pee. He touched your throttle, you stupid son of a bitch.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I genuinely don't care what anybody wants to be at all. But I feel like if you're going to start adding airplanes and bullshit into this, then you should just take what's coming to you, because I'm not going to not joke about that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
I'm not going to take it seriously. I'm going to talk shit. But if you want to be an airplane, be a fucking airplane.
I mean, imagine how much punishment this kid is putting on himself from like all the other kids. Like, I think my favorite quote would be, if he did something bad, I'd be like, you stiffed the landing again, Johnny. You stiffed the landing. Right. Like, come on now. Like, I mean, do you like put a bunch of desks in front of him, let him crash land in a desk? Like, I mean, I don't know what's happening. Like, does he provide complimentary peanuts and water? Like, that's what I want to know. Like,
I would just make him do all his classwork outside, the whole time.
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, Johnny, we need to get to Vegas. Can I just hop on your back and you can just propeller yourself fucking in the air and take us over to Vegas? Like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I know they have furries. Like, you have a little bit more of aggressive furries or whatever and all that, but like, I think people need to get more specific with the I identify as type thing. Like, because it's like, it's okay if you're a male and you identify as a female, or you're a female and you identify as a male. But if you're sitting there and you're a child and you identify as an airplane, no, this kid has an imagination. Sit the fuck down, do your homework, and shut up. Like,
right.
That's just the whole thing.
Well, first off, I don't take anything kids say seriously anyway.
Yeah.
So they can say they identify as whatever the fuck they want. I'm just going to be like, whatever, man. You know what I mean? Once you're an adult, we can have the conversation. I'll call you whatever you want to be called. But when you're a kid, man, just fuck off, man.
Yeah. And Steve Simmons, shout out to Steve Simmons. He said, good evening, guys. And of course, Jerry from Sheriff Pine, he said, looking forward to this year's Rumble and not getting matched up with Tom Nutty or Allison Ray. Allison Ray absolutely fucking dominated IncoHearant when she was on not too long ago. And he also said, no topic is off limit to Tom Nutty, which I respect. And that's very true. But, you got to look at it like this. And one of the things I wanted to talk about also was, Twitter has become the Wild West, and it is great. Like, I love, like, a lot of people hate Elon, but the one thing that shoots up my spine that I hate the most is people making those fucking posts going, oh my God, I was alive to see the death of Twitter. Meanwhile, they are posting this on Twitter. And it's like, hold on, wait a minute, back this up. Did you identify as an airplane when you were a child? Like, you are posting, so you're posting this, I guess, on something from the beyond. Like, basically, like, Twitter is a zombie in The Walking Dead right now.
That's the problem, is people just want to say shit and they don't. I can't even wrap my head around it, because Twitter's going through some wild shit right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not dead in any way. Yeah. The people that are saying that, like you said, they're literally on Twitter saying that.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, what are you doing?
A lot of it is just people who have hate on Elon. They hate his views. Like, it's a lot of political stuff. We don't touch on political stuff on this show, but it's the kind of thing that, for me, like, for us, for this show, Twitter has been a huge help. Twitter has helped our social footprint grow so much, because it's like, you look at it like this. With this show, we have on a Natasha Nice, we have on a Sarah J. One retweet from them makes our show gold. Like, that's the whole thing. We cover more ground with one retweet from them than we could posting 1,000 things on Facebook or Instagram, just from that one retweet. So, and also our content, I feel our content and most of the clientele that we deal with is more accepted on Elon's version of Twitter. Like Elon even said, comedy is back on Twitter or whatever and all that.
Yeah, but then he like banned Kathy Griffin for pretending to be him.
He brought her back, but also she did that out of spite, and she's done so much. I mean,
I will say this. I will like wipe everything else she did off of it. That one single act of just changing her name to him. That might be the only funny thing Kathy Griffin's ever done.
Oh yeah. But
Kathy it was Griffin, funny.
Yeah, Kathy Griffin, I think she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And regardless how you bounce politically is when she had the severed head of Donald Trump, and everybody sat there and looked at it. Regardless if you like Trump or not, you are basically saying you want to kill a U.S. president. Secret Service should be showing up at your house right now, regardless if it's Biden, Trump, Ronald Reagan, whoever the fuck it is. Like, that's just shit you don't do, and
I will say, like, as a comedian, I think she got caught up in the like the one-upping of the shock value game everybody was playing, and she was just the last like straw where people were like, okay, that's enough, but
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of terrible people spreading a lot of hateful shit on Twitter right now, but that's also stuff that, I mean, like, I think people thought like this freedom of speech thing, like, yes, there is no true freedom of speech, it doesn't exist, but also Elon just took over. You had a bunch of people, and I mean, I see from the hand of, if I'm Elon, I don't want people working with me that don't believe in my vision of the company. So he let go a bunch of people, and then he gave everybody a deadline. This is the deadline you have. So no one wanted, anybody who didn't want to work there, they were like, peace out. And that's that. So if anybody sits there and thinks Elon Musk, who has Tesla, who sent a fucking Tesla out into outer space, who has SpaceX, who has that fucking satellite that he put over Ukraine to help them out, if no one really thinks he doesn't have fucking the best engineers on the fucking planet that can come in and fix fucking Twitter, you're sadly fucking mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
And you're part of the fucking problem, because this dude spent $44 billion. He's not going to just sit there and let it go to waste. If anything, I said it before, he'll let it go to bankruptcy, declare bankruptcy, that Twitter's bankrupt. That doesn't mean that Twitter's dead. That just means that debt's gone, and he literally has to start from square one to rebuild Twitter. But with over 400 million users daily, I don't think that website is going anywhere, because to me, Twitter, it is a cesspool and a lot of people want to see it go. But for media purposes, it spreads news a lot quicker than Facebook and Instagram. So me promoting the show, I would rather do it on Twitter more so than anything else. I mean, Christ, Twitter was big in having Taylor Swift's Taylor Nation just completely obliterate Ticketmaster over the last fucking week. Like, if Twitter would have died this weekend, the last thing we would have remembered on Twitter was the Taylor Swift Nation just completely obliterating Ticketmaster via fucking Twitter. Like, that's just the way it works. There's no ends, ifs, or, buts about it with that. So,
since this is being recorded, this is November of 2022. I will say by November of 23, Twitter will just be called Twitter X, and it will just be a whole new company.
But yeah, it's funny because he's even considering Twitter 2.0. So, that's the thing. And it's like, okay, Twitter 2.0, like, okay, I'm for it, whatever. Like, I've never had any issues with anything, with that. And, I love that verification thing, because like everybody's like, oh, anybody can get verified, but it helps shows like ours. Like, you have like 10,000 other things out there. It's like when we reach out to a guest, it makes us look more legit that we have that blue check mark. Also, I can now upload 10-minute videos aside from 2.5-minute videos that helps me blow through content a lot quicker. In the long run.
I think what you're going to see with that too is you're going to see the weeding out of a lot of bullshit that's on Twitter. That's really what I'm looking forward to. Is I don't really give a fuck who's running Twitter. You know what I mean? But just get rid of the 40% of it that's just total a waste of space. I think that's the direction it's going in. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can sit there and have kid who identifies as airplane verified. Like, that this kid really identifies as an airplane. Like, put it this way, one of the best ones, I forgot who said this. I think Socrates said it last night, is that on Twitter, apparently somebody has a profile as the real God, and they got verified as the real God. At that point, like I'm looking, I'm like, I'm not a big church guy, but I'll follow God. Like,
Fuck yeah.
like, you know, and I think that's helped us out because we're getting more retweets, we're getting more followers, you know, slowly but surely it's, you know, it's there. And a lot of people miss the concept of, okay, there's 400 million Twitter subscribers. Okay. A lot of those, I would say, probably about like 5 million or so are probably bots, or, you know, people who just fuck off. The no profile, only have like 2 followers, fucking want to troll everybody, people who are going to be eradicated from that, who are really pissed off from that. But you got to look at it. Okay, so 799 times, let's say 100 million people do that 799 thing right there. That's almost, you know, a good amount of money right there that he's made off of the 799 thing. Like,
I will say what kind of does worry me about that is I wonder if like all the social medias are going to kind of follow that model where like, and it's bound to happen before long, where we're just paying the social medias like a subscription service to be on the platform. It's going to happen for sure.
Yeah. And you know what, that's something like that I would totally, you know, be for, because, you know, like us, that helps us. Like, I mean, but with that, you probably get special perks and all that too. So, and of course, shout out to Jerry. He said, I love that Ray can run his show / priest show and still stay connected to his media chats. Not an easy thing to do. Respect his hustle and what he does for his brand. Appreciate that, Jerry. We love you. And he said, yeah, Ray is super bitter about the whole Taylor Swift Ticketmaster fiasco. I'm not bitter. My wife is heartbroken that she could not get tickets to Taylor Swift. And our buddy Jason Rushman, he's in here, and he said, I agree with you 100%. I can't stand bots. I get them on my Twitter so much. And I mean, that's the thing. And I mean, Tom, how many guests have we had on this show? Adult film guests. I'm sure Carmen Valentina will probably fucking tell us as well. How many adult film star guests have we had on this show where they sat there and said, oh yeah, I met a guy at a convention who said he's been talking to me and sending me money for a year, and he met me, and they're like, that's not really me. We had that article where there was a lady who was being frauded by somebody who was saying they were a Russian astronaut stuck up in the fucking space or whatever. It's like, that eliminates that kind of shit. It's like, but these stupid ass people who are bitching about it are the ones who probably be like, oh, okay, squeegee kid. Oh, okay, I owe you money here. Here's my phone. You can, you know, Venmo yourself for cleaning my window. Oh no, you Venmoed yourself $1,000. Why are you busting my windshield? Like,
look, there's a certain percentage of the population that deserves to be scammed. I'm a firm believer in that. Yeah. Like, if you really are trying to Venmo fucking astronauts, like, you don't deserve to have the money you have. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
The one thing I get all the time, the most popular thing I get on Twitter is somebody will start a thread and put a bunch of people in the message, and I'll be like, hello, do you need a job?
Yep. I got about 40 of them.
Yeah. And then, like, it's funny because almost daily I get something of, oh, well, your Amazon order, blah, 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 has, you know, can't be processed. Bitch, my wife has the Amazon account. Why are you messing? Like, my email has nothing to do with this. So that's automatically fake. And then someone will be like, oh, PayPal this. I go right into my PayPal account. Look, nothing's gone. Right. This is fake. But PayPal has the thing called, I think it's a spoof.paypal. Spoof at paypal.com or whatever, where you can send those, and PayPal then tries to track it down and prosecute for shit like that. So normally when I get those, I just forward those right to that message. So
yeah, PayPal's pretty good with that kind of shit. Almost to like too good, to the point where, like, if somebody you don't know sends you money, they're like, fucking hold on. You can have this in 10 days. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, but
and Jason, he said, I'll give you an example. Every time I go to Karma RX's page, I get a bot, LOL. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, going to Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Like, for example, like Reagan Fox, she doesn't have a Facebook, but you can type in on Facebook, Reagan Fox. You get 12 Reagan Fox profiles.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook. And it's like, you know, they're not real. Like, I could see if it said Reagan Fox fan page, whatever. Okay, cool. Just like how Elon's like, you know, for a certain thing, put parody behind it, like parody page, or, you know, whatever, all it, because then that way, you know, that's not the real fucking person or whatever. Right. So I don't know. It's just everything else just in general is just the Wild West right now. So I think everybody has nothing else better to think about than to just focus on Twitter and all that shit. And oh, Twitter's going to die. Oh, it's that. And Elon's eating this up. Like, he's trolling people so fucking bad on Twitter. And it's great. Like, I keep on messaging. I so badly want to get him on the show because I feel like he would be a great fucking time to have. And it's like, I don't even want to talk about SpaceX. I don't want to talk about Tesla. I don't want to talk about Twitter. I want to talk about like a midget blowing like a donkey or something, like with Elon Musk. Like, that's what I want. Like, like,
there's nothing wrong with that goal.
Yeah, it's like, you're not going to come on our show and someone's going to be like, oh, so when did you start, Tesla? Yeah, how was that? No, motherfucker, we already know that. There's a Google search for that. That's not our show. Like, every so often, if it's a guest that's not as well known, we'll be like, okay, how did you? Because they're not as well known. So, I kind of don't know myself how they got started off. But if it's someone like a fucking, Natasha Nice or whatever, we know all that bullshit. Like, we know, like, we don't need to do this. Like,
right.
Our show's about having fun and, like, for example, tonight, interacting with people in, the chat room and all that shit and just having a good time, just having beer and going, hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's just have a good time and, rock and roll and, all that bullshit. So, but yeah, so hopefully Carmen Valentina will be joining us probably within the next 5 minutes or so. She's scheduled for 6:00. So we're just, we like to start early, get the juices flowing. And that way, by the time our guest comes in, we're locked, cocked, and ready to unload with, everything we have in the program. And no, I didn't mean for that to sound so sexual, but it did, but also that's the way it should sound on our show. So, right. But Tom, have you did you do any show? I saw you were at Church of Satire last night. Did you do a show last night?
No, I was running sound and shit, but we had Ariel Elias at the club, which pretty much everybody knows her from the viral clip where the guy threw the beer at her while she was on stage and it hit the back and then she picked it up and chugged it.
I know exactly who that is. My wife showed me that clip and that's fucking awesome.
Yep. She was at the club this weekend and she is an absolute monster on stage. She is
really,
yeah. Like every time I feel like I'm doing something with comedy, we get somebody that comes through who's like a true polished working professional. And I'm just like, I'm just doing long open mics. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? But she was really good. And nice. the girl that featured for her, Molly, was just as fucking good.
Nice.
So it was a good weekend all around.
And then, of course, everybody might have saw on our social medias last night, I wore my Laugh Finder podcast shirt. Shout out to Tommy Simbazo and Eric Woodworth. Very, very good friends of the show. They were able to open for both nights, Friday and Saturday, for JSS Uncensored, which for us, a lot of people watching, throughout the world may not. Our local radio station, Justin, Scott, and Spiegel, probably one of the best and biggest rock stations in the United States. They do an uncensored show where, they do all kinds of shit. Like, I think one of the things they were talking about was singing karaoke while they were getting a finger shoved up their ass, and just stuff like that. And they were able to open for them. So shout out to those guys. I always love having Tommy and Eric on the show. Make sure, you follow them. Of course, follow Tom, follow myself, follow the Happy Hour podcast, follow Jerry. He's in our chat, a Share a Pint podcast, another buddy for, drinking and all that stuff. I always like to, shout out to our friends. That's why we started running those ads and all that. Someone sends me an ad, I'm like, all right, whatever. And it also gives us a little bit of a chance to run on to take a piss if we need to also. So, yeah. And then, we got stuff coming up. Obviously, we're going to be right back here on a YouTube live next Saturday. So next Saturday, we'll be back live the 26th. I believe it's the 26th. It's on our social media, but we will be live with Stephanie Ild, and she's an adult film star. That's going to be our very special Thanksgiving episode. So that should be very good. We're going to have a lot of cool Thanksgiving oriented stuff going on. With that, I wish we could say we could have food, but we're not because we don't have a budget like that. And yeah. So, but no, so
we'll all be having leftovers.
Yes, we will all be having leftovers. And then, of course, December 1st, we're going to be live. Thursday, December 1st, we're going to be live right here on YouTube Live. Special guest is Alexis Fox. So make sure you go check that out. And then, of course, Tom, I know you have a show that day. If you're local, check out Tom if you're ever near Hanover, PA at Church of Satire. And we will be live that day at Exotica. So we will be live at Exotica. We will be there doing some various stuff. Of course, we did talk with Jess Boots about maybe doing a beer pong face-off. And also we will be interviewing Brenna McKenna live from Exotica itself. So I think next year we're going to try to get into the New Jersey exotic because I feel like not a lot of people come to the DC one as much as they do the New Jersey. I feel like Jersey is a little bit bigger when it comes to that. So, and that's only like an hour and a half up the road from us. I drive there every day pretty much. So
I feel like you could do like a whole weekend's worth of episodes, not just the Exotica, but like any random place in Jersey would be good content.
Yeah, without question. Just because, just Jersey in general is fun. Like everybody's like, oh, blah, blah, Maryland's fun. Hello. How are you?
Can you see me?
I see your photo.
Hold on.
Here, let me see real quick. Sometimes
there you go.
There we go. How are you? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Of course, our guest Carmen Valentina is joining us live right here on YouTube Live. We started a little bit early just to get the juices flowing, and we're talking a little bit about Exotica. So, you've done conventions before.
Yes.
What crazy experiences, if you've had any, have you had at conventions? And we were talking a little bit about how there's a lot of fake profiles on Twitter. We're talking about how Elon's trying to eradicate all that, and we've had a lot of adult film stars come on and go, yeah, there was a guy that was talking to me for about a year and sending me money, and I've never met him a day in my life. So have you had like any kind of crazy experiences with any of that?
Most everyone I meet is always super nice. My only complaint would be like some of them are just super sweaty and smelly, or they'll be like, don't you remember you saw me like a year ago at the same convention when I saw like 300 other people? And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, my memory's not that great, but I don't want to be an asshole. So I'm just like, yes.
I was just about to say, do you just pretend like you remember them?
Some of them I truly do remember, and other ones, like, I'm horrible with names. And
the way you said that, I don't think you remember them for good things.
No. Some of them I do remember for good things. Like, they're just like, I see them all the time. And then other ones, I'm just like, I'll recognize their face, but not their name. And they expect me to remember their like name too. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember their name. I'm horrible with names. And so they'll like buy something and I'm like, oh, how do you spell your name again? I try to play it off. I don't know. They probably know I fucking forgot. I don't know how well I play it off.
And with that, have you ever had anything really odd that someone's brought up to you to sign? Like they just bring something up and it has nothing to even really one of the things that stands out to me the most is that I did wrestling. Everybody knows that, that's watching at home. I did pro wrestling for a very long time. And my Hall of Fame show, I had a black t-shirt that I came out to the ring with. I dumped water over my head, it's soaking wet. I came out, somehow a fan ended up with it. And they put the shirt on. And mind you, I was sweating in that shirt. It was completely covered in water. And I'm out in the crowd talking to everybody. And they're like, can you sign this shirt? And they had a black Sharpie and my shirt was black. I'm just kind of looking at him like, bro, I don't know what to do for you. Like it's wet and it's black on black. Like I don't understand. Have you had anything weird where someone brought something up to you and you're like, what the fuck is this?
There's one guy, he always brings like this WWE like belt and he'll sometimes like have the girl sign it. I don't know what kind of I don't know. It's probably fake, but it's like he bought it. I don't know. He's really nice. But the weirdest thing, this isn't like at a convention or anything. I had like a fan send me these 8x10s for me to sign. So sometimes I'll sign them and send them back. But then I open these, I'm like, why the fuck does this like 8x10 look really weird of me? This guy jizzed all over the 8x10, let it dry, then he sent it to me, and I'm like, you know what? Nope. I don't care. He did not pay me for this. There was no money in that envelope. I'm like, nope, I am not going out of my way for this. I did not get paid for this. I am not touching that. I like literally, I felt so bad. I'm like, I throw it in garbage. I'm like, I can't. I need like fucking latex gloves for this shit.
I mean, what's the thought process? And it's like granted, like you get paid the deal with cum all the time. However, you don't want some random strangers cum on a photo.
There's cum, and I'm sure it was already dried up, so there's no he couldn't catch anything from it. Everything would have been dead by then. But just the thought of it, I'm like,
like who does that?
I'm like, I have standards. It might not look like it when you watch a film of me, but I do have standards and boundaries. And like, I'm like, this is crossing that little line there. So I just couldn't. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be a bitch, but this is one of the times where I just got to be a bitch, and like, I can't. You need to put in like a 10 or a 20 in there. I'm like, come on. If I'm going to go out of my way to sign it. Yeah. Your Jesus covered pictures you printed of me. I think I need a little something here. Like, other times, if it was normal, I'd be like, okay, let me sign it. I'll mail it back. But that one was a little bit, I was like, no, I'm good.
And you know, he probably thought that was going to be like the hit of the whole whole meeting. He was like, this is going to be the coolest thing she's ever seen.
No.
He's never signed a jizz photo before. There's like a little note attached with it. Please sign where the jizz mark is. Like he just wants you to sign right in like the little stream of the. He
could have provided a Sharpie too. I'm like, I'm not going to use my own Sharpie to sign this.
Yeah.
No.
He's like, I signed it. Now you sign it.
That was interesting. And I'm like, never mentioned it on Twitter. I'm just gonna pretend that I never received it if he does ever message me. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. It never came in the mail. I don't know.
And if he happens to be listening to this, you can mail Happy Hour Podcast covered photos all you want. We'll sign them for you.
I feel like after being in the industry, it kind of makes you more of a germaphobe in a way. You just don't want someone you don't know's jizz like all over you. Like you just want to know their results and status, make sure they're just not disgusting and they're nice and clean and showered. I don't know, like stuff like that goes in my head, and I'm like,
this is my 400-pound uncle's jizz. Like he can't like do it himself, so I held this just like this underneath him while like I helped him crank it out. Can you please sign this for him? Because it was a process getting this one here. And what's really funny is in my mind, I can't get past like the jizz photo thing. That sounds like something a weird fan would do. However, the wrestling belt, that has been implanted up here since you said it, because I was like, wait, like and in the wrestling business, there's a lot of fans who buy the replica belts. And they'll have Hogan, Sting, Ric Flair, whoever signed the belts, that's fine. But why are you taking it to an adult film convention?
He has a couple of belts. Like this guy, it's not one belt. He has a couple of belts. So it's like he just loves his porn stars. And I would always see him like almost at every Exotica. Like which Exotica would I see him mostly at? I think it'd be like the Jersey one that I would always see him at.
Oh man. So we need to definitely get to the Jersey Exotica. We have press passes to the DC one coming up, and it's going to be our first one going there. And we definitely need to next year try to make it to the Jersey one, because I heard those are a little bit more like I feel like the DC one is a little bit smaller than what some of the other ones are.
The
I feel
DC
like
one's newer too, so it hasn't been around as long. While the Jersey one has been going on for much longer.
Gotcha.
And it's in an era where there's way more people that live in that area, because you have people coming down all the way from New York too.
Okay. And like just the thought process of that guy, like the audacity of, hey, I have something cool I'm going to do. Like, let me just send this fucking, jizz covered photo or whatever. And like, it kind of makes me think, I'm going to pull up a video real quick that I'm going to show. And It makes me kind of think of this. It actually, you know what? It's not in there for some reason. But no, there's a video that I saw of this person releasing a fish into a goddamn like tube, and the fish was going like 100 miles an hour, and I think I might have saved it into a different folder. So let me just look real quick and I'll get this pulled up. Boom, 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 boom. So okay, I know where it is. So go right here.
What if the guy is just getting a bad rap and you just have like a perverted mailman?
Just a perverted male.
I don't know. The mailman would never see me though. So
well, he would see the picture.
He would see the picture. Yeah, it's the mailman that's delivering the photos. Like
Sometimes it'd be a male woman, so I'm like, okay, that's kind of hard. I don't know.
All right.
But it was to like my fan mail address. It wasn't to my home address. So I don't know.
Like I feel like I found it. It's right here. I feel like before this guy signed the photo, that this was the journey. Like pretty much the photo was at the end of this tube, and this was the journey that unfortunate sperm had to take in order to get on to that fucking photo right there.
My castle stand upon pillars of salt and pillars of sand. I hear Jerusalem bells are ringing, Roman cavalry choirs are singing. Be my mirror, my sword and shield, my missionaries in a foreign field. Awesome.
I'm just wondering, like, what the hell the fish is thinking while all that shit's going on.
Okay.
and we just got our
what
first
the fuck is going on?
and we just got our first copyright strike.
But no, like that's all. Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely know YouTube will be like, oh, that is copyrighted, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, YouTube. It's 30 seconds worth. Leave me alone. But no, like, and like with conventions, how many conventions, like, do you even know like how many years you've been going and doing like the conventions, like right offhand?
About like 10 years, but I haven't done any recently since COVID, because then they canceled all of it. And then every time like there's a convention going on, then like I'm already busy with something else since COVID. So I do want to go start. I will be at my next convention will be AVN in Vegas, like January 4th weekend.
And that's always a big one too, is the one in Vegas, right?
Yeah, that's usually like the #1 convention. I do want to do Chicago Exotica. I like Chicago. It's fun. Always visiting over there too.
And you do feature dancing as well. So
Yes.
that's pretty fun. Like, and like from what we saw, from what was sent to us is, weren't you were going to do, I think, a Ghostbuster. They said you were going to do a Ghostbusters one, but then COVID hit and you kind of like shelved that one or something along those lines. Like how like extravagant do your stage shows get?
I try to have fun with them. Like I made like a huge penis that shoots like white confetti out.
Nice.
And that one took me forever to make because I also like hand stitched like all the sequins and stuff. I like a fembot costume, Princess Leia costume.
Nice.
The Ghostbusters, I've just been lazy with it. I need to like work on it too. I was gonna do it, but then I'm like, okay, I procrastinated, and then other shit happened. And my ADHD brain's like, oh look, something shiny over here, and then I totally forgot about that for months. And I'm like, oh, I need to work on this again. And then I'll start thinking of stuff, and then other shit happens, and I'm like, I'm all over the place.
And did you do a Miley Cyrus one?
Yes.
Also, how did you? Please tell me you had a record.
I didn't do as well. Some people are just like, they didn't understand. Like I made the outfit and everything. It looked exactly like her VMA's outfit with the little mouse and everything. Yeah. But I feel like some people just didn't get it because they never saw the VMAs of her wearing that outfit. So I was just like, let me retire this one. It was a cute costume though. But I was like, yeah, I need to pick something where more people recognize. So my Austin Power Fembot one, most people get it, but I've had some like younger strippers where they're like, oh my God, you look like Katy Perry. That is so, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so old. They don't even know the reference to this fucking costume right now. I'm like, whatever, as long as the show looks good, fuck it.
Whatever. Hey, as long as people are throwing the money out, that's all that matters. Like,
yeah. And that costume, I rigged it to where I can have like fire tits. So
oh, nice. So
have you? I also rigged that costume up, and like I try to make everything myself.
Have you ever had like
I want? Huh?
The confetti shooter like jam? Like, has it ever like jammed? Like, how does one of those work? Like,
2-3 times is jammed. Either I overstuffed it, or I put like too much tape over the top so it wouldn't fall off, and then it wouldn't go because the tape was so strong. So it's only happened like 3 times. That's about it.
Have you ever had like anybody in the crowd go, please just blast me with that gun? Like,
No, 'cause no one expects what's gonna happen. They don't. I hid the confetti launcher. So
yeah.
you don't see the confetti launcher.
Like,
All they do is see it coming out of the tip of the penis, and they don't understand what's about to happen. They're just like watching me like jerk off this huge 3-foot penis. And then I had to make it so it fit in my luggage too. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, how do I come up with the penis that can fit in my luggage, have a confetti launcher, it shoots out white confetti, and is sparkly and cute for the stage. And it just in my head, I just started going through things like, okay, how can I rig this? How can I rig this? And then in my head, I finally figured it out. And then I just started making stuff. So
have you ever got pulled over with or stopped with airport security with that thing?
Oh, I got all that stuff's usually checked, but by the time I get it, when I get to my hotel room, I have all those TSA flyers they put in your luggage. Like, your luggage has been inspected by TSA, and they put like a little flyer telling you the reasons why. And I have had millions of those. Like, I just throw them away. Yeah.
It's the thing that like you open your bag and there's confetti all over your bag because they find it and they're intrigued by what it does, and they just end up one TSA agent ends up blowing another TSA agent.
Oh, they can't because it needs CO2. It needs like threaded CO2 cartridges, and I can't travel with those by airplane, so I just ship them to my hotel room.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Like,
so once I find out the hotel, I do like an Amazon order for my CO2. Nice. And then I just have it shipped to that hotel to wherever I'm feature dancing.
Like, how much CO2 does that? Like, will one thing of CO2 last? Like let's say if you're doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, will that last the whole?
No. So they're like individual cartridges. So once it pops once, I have to switch it with another.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if I do a couple of shows, I'll order like a 6-pack because I usually never do 4-packs. I don't know why. And so then I just leave the rest at the club if anyone goes paintballing and wants some. And then I don't travel back with it because I don't want them taking it out and then I have nothing once I get to that city.
It's almost like a bullet chain of CO2. You're just
so just like because they have to do ground transportation for it. So I was just like, damn it. So when I don't get my hotel like a week before I get there, I start freaking out. I'm like messaging my agent. I'm like, hey, what's the address to the hotel? I really fucking need it or I can't do my fucking show.
Yeah. And speaking of doing the Miley Cyrus show, we do a segment called Porn Parody Comparisons on the show. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. And tonight's porn parody comparison is obviously Miley Cyrus. So this is the actual photo of Miley Cyrus, and then the porn parody version called Wrecking Balls, an XXX parody of Miley Cyrus. So it's insane how much stuff out there has porn parodies. And Carmen, yourself, have you done any porn parodies?
No, but I wish I have. Like, I would love that.
Yeah.
So I never done any, but I don't know who, if I did, who I would do.
If you could do like any show, movie, game, anything like that, what would it be?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea at the moment. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I do like The Boys. But The Boys comic book on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I like that. That would be really fun.
Oh, The Boys porn parody.
So fucked up that
especially with Hero Gasm. That would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so out of this world. Like, it'd be easy for porn to just do whatever they want to parody it.
Oh yeah, like with that, are you caught up on that show?
No, I haven't had time. I've been so busy this year because, like, when I binge watch, I like binge watching it for like the next 2 straight days with like no breaks. That's usually how I do shows that I really like, but I haven't had time. So I'll probably do it sometime this week since it's slow and it's Thanksgiving.
Definitely. This season has been the best. Chef Kiss, especially the first episode. The way the first episode starts
I
off.
saw the first episode and
Yeah.
then I got busy and then I'm so far behind of a lot of shows that I love watching. So I really need to catch up on that. But it's kind of hard when you travel and then you know you're living in a hotel room. You don't have like you don't want to log into the hotel TVs for your Netflix and stuff or watch it on your tiny laptop.
Yeah. And in our live feed, Jason Rushman, he said, "You look very beautiful. He loves your movies." And he asked, "Have you ever worked with Tommy Pistol? He's awesome and he's so funny."
No, I haven't worked with him yet. So I don't I would like to. But the thing with porn now, it's like when I get paired up, I always get paired up with these young guys. Now that I'm older, and then Tommy Pistol's older, so he always gets paired up with the young girls because they always do like that daddy daughter or mommy son bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, I want a fucking older guy. They know how to fuck better too.
You
So,
go,
like
"I'm a
in the
fucking
porn
older."
world. Yeah. Like,
That they come out, they're like, this is Melvin. He's 80. And this is the senior Joey. It's like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. God, no.
yeah, because some of them will like pair me up with like these super young guys, like they're 18, 19, 20, maybe just turned 21. And it's like, yeah, they know how to do porn, they have a big dick. But they don't fuck you the same way as someone who's 10, 15 years older than what they are. So I feel like they just fuck you like a jackhammer. It's just like,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, there's no motion to the ocean here. It's just like bam, 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 bam. I'm like, I'm like, this is not as enjoyable for me. So.
And
I once told one to like shut the fuck up. He was pissing me off. I don't know if they cut that out of the scene. Because first of all, he was 3 hours late.
oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, to the scene. And then I find out it's because he needed his prescription for Cetaphil or whatever bullshit. So I was just like, okay, I get it. You need this stuff to help you out. But why didn't you fucking do this the day before?
Yeah.
So, and then his girlfriend's trying to find, because they lived in Miami, so the scene was in Orlando, and then the girlfriend's trying to find like a boarding for her dog because they want to go to Disney World. And I'm like, I know about this scene, like this wasn't booked last minute. You knew about this at least a week in advance. At least. You had plenty of time to figure all this shit out. And then he finally makes it. And I was like, why didn't they just get fucking La Quinta? They accept dogs at that fucking hotel. If they're so worried about their fucking dog. Yeah. I'm like, it was such a bullshit. And then he's like, I had to wait at the pharmacy to get my prescription. I'm like, if you knew you're running out, then why didn't you get it a few days beforehand before you ran completely out? Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm annoyed. I'm like, I already finished whatever I was supposed to do beforehand. And then I literally took a nap and went in one of the bedrooms like for 3 hours.
Like, and now I need to fuck him.
But then I wanted to go home earlier. So I had to wait because I didn't want to throw away the day because, you know, and then I would have made less money by not doing the scene if I left. And so I'm waiting there. He's 3 hours late. Then he comes and then he's just, he's like, I'm so sorry, so sorry. I'm like, sure, you're sorry. I'm just already annoyed and I'm just like, let's just get this over with because I have like a 2-hour drive back. And so we finally do it and then he just like starts, I hate when like some talent just start directing the director and then he's just like, no, we should do it like this. I'm like, you're already 3 hours late. Stop doing this. Let's just get this
done. You're 3 hours late. Shut the fuck up and just do what we're here to do. Like,
and my eyes just like twitching. I know my eyes like twitching, you know, when you're just like angry. And so then he starts fucking me. And then, you know, there's like, I'm already pissed off, so I'm not into him. And then he starts fucking me like a jackhammer. I have to like, hey, can you slow down? Because this hurts because I'm not warmed up. You can't just go straight into fucking pussy without warming up the girl if you're going that fast. Like it hurts. It's not pleasurable. Like, you know, you need to like start slow, then get slowly faster and faster. And then you can fuck me as hard as you want. And so I had to like literally tell him like, because then then he's doing this like, why don't we do a mommy son scene? And I'm like, oh, so sick of the mommy son. Can we just do a regular scene? I just want this over with. Stop adding like more storylines to this. You're already 3 hours fucking late.
Well, I can relate to that because, of course, doing pro wrestling, like it's the kind of thing you go and you do a show and a guy shows up late. Like, let's say you're the first match on the card. Motherfucker walks through and the ring announcer is introducing everybody to the show. And they come in and they put their gear on. They're like, all right, let's do this. This is it. And I'm like, whoa. We're going out there and calling it in the fucking ring. What do you wait? What do you mean? We're calling it in the fucking ring. My music is going off. We're not going to remember any of this shit. Listen to what I tell you. We're calling it in the ring. And what's funny with that is 90% of pro wrestlers that are in the independents today can't call a match in the ring, which all of the greats, Flair, Savage, whoever could call a match from beginning and end in the ring. And, it's like, well, you were late. So what the fuck do you expect is going to happen? I'm not going to go out there and make myself look like shit because, you're late, what the fuck? But
it's just like you get so annoyed when they're late, and then I wasn't like in it, and then eventually we finished the scene, and then he's still like, "Oh, I owe you dinner for me being late." And I'm just like, "Okay, whatever, bye." And then I finally get paid and I leave, and then I'm like, "I don't care." I'm like, "Just be more professional and don't be 3 hours fucking late." It wasn't due to traffic. It wasn't due to anything else, but just you not having your shit together. So.
And with the porn parody, I got one that just popped in my head. You should do Carmen Sandiego as a
I do have people that are like, when I tell them, I'm like, Carmen Valentina, like Carmen Sandiego. I don't know if they've done that or not for porn yet. Because some of them I'm like, I don't even know if they've done it. And then I'll look it up and they already did it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's crazy how many different iterations of different, porn parodies there are of certain things. And real quick, what we're going to do is I'm going to play a couple of ads. We're going to take a small little 2-3 minute break in case anybody wants to grab a drink or anything like that. I'm going to play some ads. And then when we come back, we're going to get into our game segment, which is always a blast. So we're going to be right back here shortly, right here on the Happy Hour podcast with our featured guest, Carmen Valentina. And we will be back in 1 minute.
This is Alex Cole, and you're listening to the Happy Hour Podcast.
In a world full of hunger and thirst, one restaurant will attempt to satisfy these cravings forever. Meet our hero, the cheeseburger, and his salty partner, crab dip tater tots. Together, with local craft beer, they take the fight to hunger. With a special appearance by Cupcake Milkshake, they... Vagabond Sandwich Company. Better making food than making commercials.
Hello, my name is Bubba Almany. I am a bodyguard who has been in the security industry for over a decade. My team and I offer a variety of security services that cover all aspects of security operations. We have secured some of the highest profile clients and largest events in the world. Should your situation require armed protection, we have the ability to carry in all 50 states and U.S. territories. Not only do we have the latest security equipment, we also have world-class training. We look forward to assisting all of your security needs by bringing you the finest and most dedicated security personnel available. From the Office of the President of the United States to local county and state dignitaries, my tactical dignitary protection officers are the tip of the spear in this extremely competitive industry. Let my highly trained staff protect the asset today. We can be contacted via the email and number below. Thank you.
Make sure you check out our friends located over at Hysteria Brewing Company. They are at 9570 Burger Road, Suite J in Columbia, Maryland. Make sure you pop out, say hey to Ty, and try their featured brew, Trash Panda, along with all the other crafted brews they have. And once again, that's Hysteria Brewing Company, 9570 Burger Road, Suite J in Columbia, Maryland. See you guys there.
Hey, this is Kenny Aronoff, and you're watching Happy Hour Podcast with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the Happy Hour Podcast. Of course, I'm Ray. Tom Nutty is here, and Carmen Valentina is our featured guest. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into our game segment called Ode to Humanity. So, Carmen, we're going to play a series of games, and you may be familiar with some of them. You may not. But the first one we're going to get into, we actually just recently re-added to our game segment is Never Have I Ever. So, never have I ever. What I'm going to do, we have 3 cards. If you have done it, just simply take a drink or raise your hand. If you haven't, then you don't have to worry about it. And if you feel like it, give us a little bit of a backstory on if you've done it or not. So,
okay.
The first one is, this is probably very easy. All of us have probably done this. Never have I ever broken something in a store and walked away. So I have done that numerous times where I broke. So actually, when I was in retail, I broke a lot of shit when I was in retail, coming to work trashed when I worked for Family Dollar when I was younger, and broke a lot of shit. So
a total value of $11 worth of merchandise.
Yeah. So man, I'm the only one who broke something in a store and walked away. All right. So here's the second one. Never have I ever had my boss tell me that my work sucks.
No.
I don't think I've ever had any. Like, I've seen guys get yelled at wrestling shows, like your match was terrible or whatever and all that, but I've never had that happen. And then the third one is, never have I ever had something stuck in an orifice.
This was a Easter cam show like years ago, probably like 10 years ago. And I thought it'd be hilarious to shove an Easter egg, like boiled, colorful Easter egg up my vagina. It's like, oh, this is hilarious. Let me shove it out. And then I'll just like, pretend to like shoot it out like a ping pong ball, thinking, so I don't know how to shoot out ping pong balls on my pussy. In my head, I'm just like, this is hilarious. Let me just do this. So I shoved it up there, and then I'm like, oh shit, how do I get this out? Like, I'm pushing. And I'm pushing. I'm like, oh my God, is it stuck? And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like on cam. Everyone's watching me. And I'm like, shit.
Oh, so this is live then? Like a
this
cam
is
show?
live. Yeah. So I have fans from years ago that have seen this cam show. They know I'm telling the truth here. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, shit, what do I do? So I'm like, I'm pushing. I'm like, like I'm giving birth, and I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna come out, and I'm trying to pick it out with my fingers, and I can't reach it with my fingers because it's a fucking egg, and it's like swirly, and it's like you can't get the grip on it, and it's way too high up. So I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to like break the egg or something up in my fucking vagina. I'm like, what? How am I gonna do this? So I'm pushing, and then eventually it's like literally like 20 minutes, and I'm like out of breath. I finally get the fucking egg out of my pussy. I did not. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never having children. Just getting an egg out of my pussy, pushing it out was like so fucking difficult. I'm like, how do these women who have children push these fucking kids out? Holy shit. And then like the next day I have like the like blue, purple, yellow, green, pink food coloring on my panties.
It has like the design of the egg like inside.
Because I didn't like douche my pussy, so I was just like, I look at my panties after I go pee, and I'm like, why is there blue, purple? I'm like,
that egg.
And I was like, okay, yeah, not doing that ever again.
And that's why whenever I shove eggs up my pussy, I make sure they're not dyed.
But then I was just worried. I'm like, am I gonna have to crack the egg and try to like pick it out? Like,
was it hard?
Out whole? It came out whole. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit again. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not doing it again.
Was it hard boiled or was it not?
It was hard boiled.
Okay, if
it's like when it's like dyeing, you do the colors, and I was like, I was like, oh shit.
It's a good thing you got it out, because if it had been up there for more than 6 weeks, you would have had to have kept it.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're like, there's some electric signal here. We're gonna call it a heartbeat.
Yeah.
There's no heart formed yet. But anyways, we're gonna call it a heartbeat. You're gonna have to keep it.
And of course, like I've never had anything like that, but I did, and it remind you yourself have your tongue pierced, and there was a time I was having a girl blow me, and she took the ball of the tongue ring and she stuck it in the head of my penis, and it was one of those things where I locked up, and I didn't know whether it felt good or whether it hurt, but also the sense of panic of what if this ball comes out and gets stuck in there, like was going through my mind the entire time.
Did it hurt? I've never try doing that to
one of those things
someone.
where I'm like, I don't know if this hurts or feels good. I don't know whether I want to come or cry right now. Like, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, so
Yeah, I've never tried that with a guy. I've had sex with a guy who had like a Prince Albert piercing.
yeah.
So, but it was condom proof too, which was great. But it's you can't if your tongue's pierced and their dick's pierced. It's really hard to give a blowjob because it like clinks together, and then sometimes you have to get caught on it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like playing a xylophone.
Yeah, the piercings are just stuck together. You have to call 911 because you guys are just intertwined like this.
It happens with like girl scenes when the girl like has like her like vagina pierced, and I hate doing it because then my tongue will get stuck on their piercing, and I'm like, So, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this a different way for the scene.
And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna get into our game. Have you ever played IncoHearant?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you a series of cards, and they're gonna be in drunken lingo, and you need to try to sound them out and figure out what the answer to the card is. Of course, shout out to our good friend Johnny Goodluck. We had a whole entire Royal Rumble themed episode that featured these cards, and he won the whole entire thing. We brought back 30 former guests, and he won the whole entire thing, and we sent him a championship belt, like an actual legitimate championship belt.
Trying to guess what the word is by like slurring the words.
Yep. It's gonna be it's gonna be spelled out in slur, and you need to try to figure out what it says. So here, I'll pull up the first one now so you can see.
I never played
what
this.
We mean. So here's the first one right here. So that's pretty much what it looks like. So you try to figure out what that term is, and there's two hints on the back.
Miley Cyrus?
It is. It's Miley Cyrus. So
that might have been the easiest one in the history of this
you
game.
already talked about her too. It's already in my head.
You know what though? Some of these cards though, people will see these and then their brains will literally lock up upon sight of these cards. Like it's people either do really, really good with them or really, really bad. So here's the next one.
Okay.
What do you think that says?
Hid did forum tub hack. Hid did forum tub hack?
Let me know if you need a hint.
Hid did forum tub hack. I need a hint.
One of the hints is doggy.
Back?
I got it.
Hid did for
There's another hint as well if you need that.
to forum tub back. Is doggy style like doggy style?
Yes, like doggy style. It's also how to get the last bit of ketchup out of the bottle.
Hit it from the back.
Yes, there you go. That's wrong because I was always told that with the ketchup bottle, you want to hit the label like right there. And
that clue made more sense than doggy. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Hit it from the back. I don't know, doggy. Nothing was registering. And then when you say ketchup bottle, I'm like, oh, okay.
They try to throw you off with the first hint with this game. So here's the last one. So right now you're 1 for 1. Let's see if you can go 2 for 1 out of the 3. So what do you think this one is?
Getting late?
No, but you're close.
Getting and late. Kiddingly. Kiddingly? Kidding 8? Kid and 8?
One of the hints is sticking it in.
Kidding late? Getting late. Getting laid?
Yes, getting laid. The other hint was having sex in old people slang.
But I don't know. It doesn't sound like late and then late. I'm like, okay.
How old are we that getting laid is now considered old people slang?
Yeah. Like
Is
that's,
it
What the
really
fuck?
old people slang for getting laid?
I don't know, but that's what the back of the card said, and now I officially feel like I'm 80.
No shit.
Oh, don't worry. There was this girl like a few years ago where she didn't know what hanging out meant.
What?
So she's just like, oh yeah, this one guy once, and she did like the same thing as me. Like she's like a porn star, and she shot for this one director, and I guess he liked her, and then later he's like, hey, do you want to hang out later? And she calls me and she's like, yeah, he just wants to hang out. I don't feel like just hanging out and doing nothing. I'm like, you do know what that means, right? I'm like, she's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, he wants to fuck you. And, and she's like, no, that's not what he means. I'm like, yes, it does. Like, let's like Netflix and chill. Like, he wants to hang out. And she's like, I don't want to go hang out at his house. Like, I just want to be in my room. I'm like, no, he wants to fuck you. And I'm like, and then eventually she's like, okay, I'll go hang out with him. And then what they end up doing, they end up fucking. And I'm like, she's like, I had to explain this to her. And I'm like, how are you like pretty much my age and you don't know that? Like hanging out is like the old school Netflix and chill stuff. And I'm like, oh my God.
And we end our game segment with Cards Against Humanity. Have you ever played Cards Against Humanity? Okay, so obviously on the show, we can have a deck of cards in front of you. So one of our guests, a year or two ago suggested that we do it in a roulette style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the black face card, and then you're going to get a number between 1 and 6 to choose a lucky number to answer that card. If you don't like the answer, you get 2 more options after that. But whatever the final option is, has to be that if you don't like the first 2. So this one is, oh no, here it comes. Oh God, it's blank. So 1 through 6.
5.
All right, so 5. All right. Oh no, here it comes. Oh God, it's cultural appropriation. Are you happy with that, or do you want to choose another card?
Let me choose another one. Let's do 2.
2. All right. Oh no, here it comes. Oh God, it's the art of seduction. And then you get one more choice out of the last 4 of what you want. 1 through 4. What do you think?
Let's do 3.
3. All right, 3. So
he's also tame.
Oh no, here it comes. Oh God, it's bitches.
I like that one. Yeah.
Now you danced around all the other ones. One of them was an ice pick lobotomy. One of them was what looked like to be a chemical weapons facility, but turned out to be a children's hospital. And then there was another
so much better. What the hell?
And then the other was uncut daddy dick. So
now I had that one. That one was the best. Like I picked all the boring ones. So I'm like, what?
So those will be recycled for next week since those weren't actually drawn. And then we do another round. So this round is tonight on Snick. Are you afraid of blank? 1 through 6.
4.
4. All right. So let's see. 4. All right. Tonight on Snick. Are you afraid of acting white? All right. Would you like to choose another one? Or are you afraid of acting?
That's actually kind of funny.
Are you good with that one?
Let's try 1.
1. All right. Tonight on Snick, are you afraid of the boy who sucks the farts out of my sweatpants?
That one. That's the one. That's the one.
Which is just a longer way of wording acting white.
Yes. And of course we have people commenting in the live feed, and of course our good friend Jason, he said, who is your favorite woman to work with in the industry?
I like there's like so many of them. Who do I like? I'm thinking right now. I like a lot of people. Kelly Roses is one of my favorite. Kelly Roses.
Okay.
She's super sweet and she's really pretty.
And like so pretty much do you do like today, like do you do a lot of more girl stuff, or do you do pretty much an even amount?
I do about an even amount. It depends who I'm shooting for and what they want. Usually if it's customs, it's always like another girl, like fetish or customs, and if it's like a big company, it's always like boy girl, or I'll be like boy girl. So you're always with a guy no matter what.
Okay. And actually what we're going to do also is we also have a new segment that we run called Smash or Dash. So I'm going to pull up a photo and we're all going to say whether or not we would smash or whether or not we would dash to the photo shown. So let me just go ahead and get that ready. And actually this was kind of if anybody tuned in last night, this was touched on last night, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. So the photo for tonight, why did that pull back up? So the photo for tonight is Judge Judy. So everything is absolutely going haywire right now. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, I was like, why are we looking at the fish again?
So for some reason that skipped past the Judge Judy one. And let's see. Sorry. So here we go. Pull that up. Pull that right there. And this is the problem with doing live stuff, but I love doing live, so whatever. There we go. All right. So Judge Judy is the one for tonight. Now, Carmen, would Judge Judy, would you smash or would you dash?
I smash. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
She knows how to work that wrist too.
What about you, Tom?
I'm gonna pass. I can't.
You're gonna dash. See, like me,
Yeah.
like
I do more than looks, and she's fucking hilarious when you watch
yeah.
it.
Like
She's such a sarcastic bitch. I love it.
we brought this up last night. Like, I feel like Judge Judy is one of those women that, like, because we brought up the article of Justin Bieber being afraid of Judge Judy. And I brought up the thing that, like, I was like, I don't know, I would totally do Judge Judy. I feel like she knows what she wants, but also she's the one that's dominant in the bedroom. Like Judge Judy 1000% is going to control what.
But
She
also,
knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing.
Oh yeah.
But also, she's gonna tell you how fucking terrible you are the whole time. Like, no, I'm good.
You don't know that. You don't know that. She could be crazy.
Oh, trust me, I know that.
It sounds like I know from experience.
I have been peer reviewed by lesser people.
And what we're going to do real quick, just like the fish video, I have another video I want to pull up. And Tom may remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the cocaine bear. And I came across this video and it reminded me a little bit of the cocaine bear. And I'm going to show this video and we're just going to react on it of, what this video truly is. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and hit this and hit play on this.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's pretty much a Russian man sitting on the back of a bear while drinking vodka. So
see, like that's
that
what
sounds
happens.
very Russian. That sounds very Russian.
That's what happens after you fuck Judge Judy.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all.
yeah. And I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, how drunk do you have to, like, because the bear looked like it was highly disturbed. Like, I mean, is that somebody?
We don't know if it's like on a, like they know the bear and they trained it, owned it as a pet. We don't know that if it's truly wild.
But I don't know if I'm a bear, like I don't know, maybe the bear didn't attack because that guy is very thin. Like there's not really a lot to eat. Like he's not appeasing to
I think they know that bear. That's probably like on their land and they fucked around with that bear before. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't do that with a live bear. I don't, because that'd be pretty stupid if they don't have like bear spray or something on them. And that bear seemed like he was used to them to let him get on them.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a situation where there's no bear spray because there didn't really look like there was a lot around. And
that's
like,
they know the bear.
Let's say you go somewhere and someone knows a bear. Like they know the bear, like he's their homie. Like, and they're like, all right, Carmen, look, we're gonna drink and you're going to ride this bear. Like, would you get onto the back of a bear with a thing of vodka in your hand?
I don't know, because I would probably drink vodka with the bear, but I don't know if I would get on the bear because I don't want to hurt the bear's back. Like, I don't know. It's not like it's a horse that can carry, like, I don't know how the bear's back's like. So I'm like, I don't know, but I like, cheers with shot glasses with it.
Yeah. It's like you just sit there and you're like, all right, bear, here's my shot. Here's your shot. We're going to drink together. And that's that. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't trust a bear. Even if I've known the bear for like my entire life, like I feel like I cannot trust that bear one bit, because 1 second it's all fun and games, like, oh yeah, we're riding Yogi around, whatever, and then the next second, his teeth are just ingrained into the back of your skull, and you just hear
my
him.
cat. Yeah. You're like, oh, I love you, and then you pet him the wrong way. It's like, why did you do that?
And Tom knows,
forgive you because I love you.
and Tom knows damn well, if you ever get a chance, look up Cocaine Bear, and like if that was the Cocaine Bear, those guys probably wouldn't have made it that far, because that bear was hopped up on cocaine and was just going absolutely ape shit. Like I couldn't imagine what that bear felt like. Like
that was the fucking Xanax bear we just saw.
Yeah,
like that bear seems very tame right now. He's just like la la la.
If you could have any animal out there that you could drink with that would be that friendly to you, and you could hop on their back or whatever, and all, what would it be? Like, is there any kind of animal that you could think of right offhand?
I don't know. I really like elephants.
Elephants are cool. Elephants are super cool.
Sweet and cute.
Yeah. I feel like I would do an alpaca or a llama, because I feel like alpaca and llamas will be very fun to drink with. And I'm talking about like, I take a little bit of drink and I push a bowl over, they drink out of it. And, they judge you as it is. Like all you have to do is walk by them and they're just staring at you as you walk by. So I think the judgment might turn to judging for violence, like if an alpaca or a llama gets too drunk. So, what about you, Tom? What animal would you drink and chill with?
I've been getting drunk with my cat for like 14 years now, so I'm gonna keep on rocking with her while she's around.
Oh.
Apparently they have a dog beer now. Have you heard about that? Like they
have like wine for cats too.
Yeah.
Like, my cat is definitely a beer cat. It's not a wine cat.
I one of my old dogs, I gave him beer before, and it was one of those things where he was sitting on my dad's bed, and like I heard a noise and he like fell off of the bed into like the dresser because he was just like whacked out of his mind. And then we also got a horse drunk one night. Like we were younger, and we were drinking wine coolers. This just goes to show how young we were. We were drinking wine coolers. Some people out there may not know what a wine cooler is. A wine cooler kind of like is what White Claw is today.
Pretty much, yeah. Or those Trulies or whatever.
So
I had one of those. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Just go straight for the vodka. Like,
yeah. What is?
I don't understand why you're fucking around with this stuff. Like,
everything has a seltzer now. Like Corona, Budweiser, everything has a seltzer.
That's what club soda and vodka is. You just in it, you can control how much vodka you put in it. Unlike those like little White Claws, which is like barely any alcohol, and you have to drink like 6 of them to get drunk.
Yeah, you bring a White Claw to that party with that bear, you're getting a bear claw against your face. That's what's happening. That bear is just going to take you out of the picture. But no, like we were sitting there drinking, and we have these wine coolers, and the horse literally grabbed the wine cooler out of my hand with its like little human horse teeth that it has, and like pulled it up, and it went like this, and I'm like, okay, he wants to drink. So we went back to the house and got a bunch of my buddies beer and like liquor, and they have like this little like drinking trough that they have, and we poured it into the drinking trough, and like the horse like just starts like drinking it down, and then it just started running around like crazy, and then it fell over onto its side, and we're like, yep, time to go. We get out of there. And like the
You're
farmers.
like, "Dude, I'm not responsible for this. Let's get rid of all the evidence."
Yeah. And the next day the farmer's like, the horse was okay, but the farmer's just kind of like, I wish I would have known who got my horse drunk or whatever. And we're just going, I don't know. Like, we didn't see anybody. Like, yeah, like
we were there the whole time. We didn't see anyone.
yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about. I was over here.
Yeah, we saw absolutely nothing. And Carmen, we're starting to run close to our 1 hour mark. Where can everybody find you if they want to look for you online or just in general? And not for the people who wish that you would just give your address out, but the people who generally want to find you on social.
No juice pictures, please.
Yeah.
You can go on Twitter, which is Club Carmen XXX. My Instagram is Bootiful Carmen. Wait, what is it? I'm on my third fucking Instagram. I already forgot. Hold on. They keep fucking delete, and I'm just like so over like updating it. Sometimes I'm like, they're just gonna delete it again. Why do I try? It's Beautiful Carmen Valentina. So it's very long.
We just found that tonight. Like I just saw it tonight because I had a hard time finding. And hopefully a part of
I'm
Elon.
on my third one, and then I have these assholes who keep trying to fucking make fake accounts and then pretty much do every single post like how I do it, which is super annoying.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before we came on about Elon's Twitter, and hopefully Elon's Twitter will eliminate a lot of that, and hopefully it won't be as hard.
I don't think it will. Like, I think he just says shit out of his ass. Like, just because he's rich doesn't mean he's a genius. He also got a lot of that money from his daddy. And his daddy's friends. I'm like, I know a lot of rich kids are fucking morons, but everyone thinks they're smart because they're rich. So I'm like, we'll see. He knows nothing about social media. Yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, I love
process for him.
I love that you're posting Twitter's dead on Twitter, and it's like, it's obviously not dead. You're posting this on Twitter.
I don't know where it's going. It could get better. It could get worse.
Yeah. I'm just going to post my content. Yeah.
Even Twitter, I'll have like people make fake accounts. They'll copy my header, my Abby, my bio, and then they copy and paste every single tweet I've done too. So it looks like an exact replica of my fucking account. And then on top of that, they will block me. So I can't search my name and find them until I have a fan that tells me about this account. And then I look it up on another browser, and then I find this account, and then I have to go back and block their account once I type in the actual name because I was blocked. I didn't know their name. And then I have to report them to fucking Twitter. And this is why I verified it like years ago. But so it's easier to take down these fake accounts.
Yeah.
I don't know how easy it'll be to take down these fake accounts or not. I have no idea. But at least as long as he tries to get rid of the bots are the most annoying.
Bots are annoying.
That's going to be really hard regardless if you do the bullshit verification shit for paid or not.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of bots already have money to where they can pay for all that and still be a bot. So
bots have enough money to where they can bypass hour-long lines for Taylor Swift and swoop in and buy all the tickets before Taylor Swift.
Like, who's saying like bots don't got fucking money? That's what I'm like. I don't know if Elon even knows what the fuck he's doing. He's just saying shit out of his ass right now, and he fired half the staff who knows shit. So I'm like, who's he gonna replace that knows more than the people he just fired? Who knows where the fuck all this is going? It could go downhill. It could get better. I don't know. I'm just waiting it out.
I'm just making posts. I'm like, you know what? If it
I'm just gonna wait it out.
But I mean, and you might be able to agree. Like, as I said, with our show, we get more of a social footprint from Twitter, more so than anything else. Like, it's hard to make ground on Facebook.
I love Twitter. Twitter's fun.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't want Elon to do is make the post super fucking long. I'm like, it's not fucking Facebook. Let those assholes go to fucking Facebook. I don't want to read a fucking person's essay of bitching about blah, 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 this and that. I'm like, go to Facebook for that. Twitter is meant to be short and fucking sweet. I didn't sign up for Twitter to read these like Facebook posts where it's like 2 essays long of someone just bitching about random shit. Like, no, I don't want the 80-year-olds with their long posts about why this store sucks. Okay, go to Facebook for that shit. There should be so many characters. Let's leave it at that. So people don't, it forces people to think more to get it shortened down to that, get to the point. I hate it when it's like dragged on. I'm like, please don't make it. Please don't let them write a long post. Elon, please do not. Twitter is meant to be short. That's why it's a tweet. It's
What's your
it's a chirp. It's supposed to be short and sweet, like a little chirp. It's not like a songbird which sings for fucking ever. And then and then the other thing is the super long videos. I'm like, we don't need super fucking long videos. Like, God, that's what fucking YouTube's for, is super long videos. Like,
see, me, like I post like I break down every episode into 10-minute clips. And like I post them on Instagram and Facebook, and it helps us social media wise, because people who don't know the YouTube is out there, I'll do like, shorter 10-minute clips and they go over to the YouTube. So I like it that we can do a little bit longer of videos, because the 2.5 minutes, it was hard that for Facebook, I do a little bit longer. Instagram, I would do a little bit longer. And then I would have to edit like 2.5 minutes, for that. But so I like that part. But yeah, with just the text, and like, it's like you saw when we posted, it was like, hey, featured guest, blah, blah, that's a boom, web address. That's it. Send. That's it. Like,
I like that. Short and sweet, get to the fucking point. Like, I don't need shit dragged on. This is why millennials are barely on fucking Facebook anymore, because the old people who write fucking long book essays or whatever the fuck on Facebook, they got annoyed at that and left.
Yeah.
Let's keep it short and sweet, because Facebook's going downhill. Why do we want to make another Facebook 2.0? We don't need a Facebook 2.0, because Facebook has the long videos. They have the long fucking unlimited character amounts. We don't need a second Facebook.
Yeah, we used to air on Facebook Live, and we got flagged so many goddamn times on Facebook Live, mainly because of our content. Because it's like, you say one off-peak thing, they're just kind of like, oh, this video is offensive. I'm like, why? Because I'm talking to an adult film star? Like, the fuck?
Yeah, and Facebook is like Instagram, because they own Instagram, and that's why I'm on my third fucking Instagram, and I always follow all the fucking rules. There's never nudity or anything, and somehow I guess I have a hater out there just like, I want to report everything because I don't like her. So I'm like, whatever, I'll start a fucking fourth one. Who gives a shit?
And
so
what you should do is if you find out who makes your fake profiles, you should find out where they live and have the guy who comes on the photos send those photos to those fake profiles' houses for them to be autographed. That would be nice. And
I'm just worried that they're going to like steal that person's money. So I like finding out who it is, calling them out, and ending their profile, because I don't want one of my fans thinking it was me that stole their money.
We've heard horror stories.
They're not the brightest cards in the box. There's some that are very smart, and some fans I'm just like, okay, I don't know how you pass high school. Yeah. So I love them all, but I don't want them being taken advantage of, regardless if they're going to figure it out or not, if that person's fake or real. I don't want that. Because it happened with me with like an escort ad. Like, someone stole my pictures off of Twitter, and then I had a fan's like, is this you? And I'm like, no, that's not me. So I messaged a number, and I'm like, pretending to be like a guy. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, babe, how much are you? And they're like, 200. I was like, first of all, I was insulted. 200 an hour? I'm like, more than that, but whatever. Besides the point, so I kept going on. So I can get more info from them, and then so I can report everything. But I need as much info as possible to report it. And they were eventually sending everyone to do a 50% deposit of $100 to this Venmo or PayPal or Cash App account, which is what I needed to report their payment apps. And in Venmo, you could see all the guys who are sending these guys like $100 for this shit. And I'm like, oh my God, all these guys just lost all this fucking money because they're not fucking thinking. They're probably thinking it's me. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, why are you sending money to this account? So I have to post it on Twitter, call these guys out, block them. I reported all their like Venmo. They hated me because then I was like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Fuck you. And then I sent a picture of myself with the middle finger towards them. Nice. So that pisses me off. And then another time I had, and I have to get the escort ad taken down because it's not me. But I had another fan from Indiana. He's like, hey, is this you? Are you in Indiana? And I'm like, no, why the fuck would I be in Indiana? I'm like, unless I was featured dancing, I don't want to go to Indiana. Yeah. There's like nothing to do there. It's like,
why would I go to Indiana?
It's like, I love you, but I don't want to go visit there for no reason unless I'm getting paid. So he sends me the escort ad, and it's the same site. I swear they don't like verify these like fake ads. So I call the number, and then it's like this really old Asian lady answers, and you can hear the accent, the raspy voice of the age. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And she's answering the ad, like the number that's on the ad with my pictures on it. So then I hang up and then I gotta go email this site. I'm like, can you please take this down? Here's my ID, blah, blah, blah. This is me who's writing it. This is not me who's posting the ad, and they have to get that whole ad taken down. So yeah.
And Jesus fucking Christ.
What a fucking emotional roller coaster that was.
Yeah.
I just don't like seeing like fans of mine that like get screwed over by other people stealing these pictures. So I try my best. Like other girls are like, oh well, it's already done. But I'm like, first of all, that money should be mine, not theirs.
Yeah, we've heard horror stories on this show. We've had adult film stars come on and say that that's happened. They've had people come up to them at conventions and go, hey, you know, we've been talking to you for like a year. We've sent you all this money. And they're like, we have no idea who you are. You weren't talking.
Yeah. And like these guys, like they don't, that's why I need that verification on there. So when you click, you see like, I'm like, whatever, verified on Twitter and this and that. I wish Instagram would do it, but they hate porn stars, so very few are actually verified on Insta. So it's really
That's Mark
hard.
Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg probably gets told no a lot, so he's probably just like, yeah, they don't want to fuck me, so I'm not gonna allow them on my sites because I look like a lizard person.
I have a feeling he's into some really weird shit in like the porn world. Like we're gonna cross into super fetishy, kinky stuff. Like he just seems like he'd be into the weird stuff that you're like, I wish I didn't know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's into licking the cum off the photos that got sent to you in the mail. But
he probably would be into that. I can picture Mark Zuckerberg into that. Yeah.
But anyways, Carmen, what we're gonna do, we're running a little bit over on time. We're gonna go ahead and let you get ready to get out of here. Would you be able to hang out 1 second afterwards to do a plug for us?
Yes, but I have to go pretty soon because I gotta pick up my cat from the vet.
Okay, no problem. What we'll do is we'll do that right now. So what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and pin you right here. And if you can just, however you want to, just say, hey, this is Carmen Valentina and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast whenever you're ready.
Hey, this is Carmen Valentina and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming on our show. As I said, it's a lot different from most. You know, most people have like same 60 fucking questions mapped out that they want to ask. We're just like, we just want to drink beer and just talk and fucking whatever. So, but no, we'll stay in touch. I like to try to send out a guest, a shirt, some sort of merchandise as a thank you for being on the show. So we'll be in touch about that. And, you know, anytime you want to come on or, you know, you have anything to promote, let us know. And we'll definitely put it out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Carmen. We'll see you later.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye. And Tom, what I'm going to do real quick is before we go, I'm going to get into our featured beer, which of course, you know, the last 2 nights and the last couple of weeks has been by RAR Groove City Brewing, which is Hefeweizen unfiltered wheat ale. It's local right here in Maryland. Make sure you look for the hologram can right here. And also Chessie the Sea Monster is also on the can. Make sure you look out for that. And also our featured shot, which is George Dickel Tabasco barrel finish. Always put a little bit of Dickel in your system because you never know what Dickel will do once it enters you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pour some of this and then we're going to go ahead and skedaddle out of here until you know, next week. So shout out to George Dickel and his Tabasco finish, you know, right here. And I'm getting ready to put hair on my chest and my balls all at the same time. So here we go. Oh, Jesus.
We need to make a compilation of just your reactions after every shot of the week. Like, it would be fucking hilarious.
Just an endless reel of that. And Tom, what do you have coming up, man?
I'll be Black Friday. We'll be at the Church of Satire. I'll be featuring from my good buddy Darnell Fuson is headlining that weekend.
Darnell.
Yep, it'll be a good ass weekend, and then December 3rd, you can catch me at Protein Books down in Baltimore. Be a good time. Good
Awesome.
time.
Awesome. And of course, we'll be back here on YouTube Live next Saturday, the 26th. Our featured guest is Stephanie Ild. She'll be joining us right here on the program. Yeah, so for, of course, for Carmen Valentina, for Tom, and of course, for everybody who commented in the live feed, Jason, thank you very much, bud. You tune in every single week. Sorry I couldn't get to all of your comments. I try to glance every so often. But yeah, for everybody on the live feed and everybody watching at home, this has been the Happy Hour Podcast, and we will see you guys next week. All right, so there we go. That's done there. And then